Hi friends, my name is Nandita. I am from Andhra Pradesh.
Good morning dear students. Today we are going to discuss about control and coordination from chapter 7, class 10 CBSE syllabus. Children, now let us discuss about brainstem. Your brainstem connects your brain to spinal cord. It sits at the bottom of your brain and includes the midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. Your brainstem sends messages to the rest of your body to regulate balance, breathing, heart rate and more. The brainstem is a central processing organ of your body. It commands and controls all functions of the body. This is because all systems in your body follow the commands given them by the brain. The commands are delivered through the nerves. The brainstem is composed of the midbrain, hindbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. Together, all these structures execute different functions such as regulating breathing, heart rate, blood pressure and other functions. This forms the brainstem and this is the basic brainstem definition. Children, now let us discuss about midbrain. Midbrain, it is composed of hypothalamus. Midbrain is smallest and central part of the brain. Midbrain is located between the thalamus of the forebrain and pons of the hindbrain. Hindbrain comprises pons, cerebellum and medulla. The midbrain consists of tectum and tegmentum. Children, now let us discuss about tectum. The tectum is a small portion of the brain, specifically the dorsal part of the midbrain. It serves as a relay center for the sensory information from the ears to cerebrum. It also controls the reflex movements of the head, eyes and neck muscles. It provides a passage for the different neurons moving in and out of the cerebrum. Children, now let us discuss about tegmentum. Tegmentum is a region within the brainstem. It is a complex structure with various components which is mainly involved in body movements, sleep, arousal, attention and different necessary reflexes. It forms the platform for the midbrain and connects with the thalamus, cerebral cortex and the spinal cortex. Children, now let us discuss about hindbrain. The brainstem is made up of hindbrain. This is the posterior most part of the brain. That is why it is called the hindbrain. The hindbrain comprises the pons, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Children, now let us discuss about cerebellum. The cerebellum is the part of the brain of all vertebrates. This brain is the center holding all necessary connections to all the sensory functions the body responds to. It is rightly called the little brain as it is located in the hindbrain below the cerebrum. The average weight of an adult human cerebellum is between 4.8 and 6 ounce, means 136 to 169 grams. The cerebellum is the part of the brain that controls balance and voluntary movements. The cerebrum is the part of the brain which is relatively larger than the cerebellum. The cerebellum medulla oblongata is located in elegant connections to the spinal cord and hence controlling movements. The brain can be considered to be a soft mass of connective tissue which also has nerves connected to the spinal cord that holds and supports the body. The brain controls mainly bodily functions like talking, walking, feeling, seeing, hearing, ability to think, and even controls your breathing as its neural connections are towards other parts of the head as well, like eyes, nose, ears, etc. It is because our brain facilitates the neuron connections we can say, sane and hold ourselves up, retain information and build relationships. The cerebellum comes from the Latin word little brain, is a region of brain that plays an important role in motor control. The structure is located at the back of the brain, underlying the occipital and temporal lobes of the cerebral cortex. The cerebellum is the second largest part of the brain, located in the posterior portion of the medulla oblongata and pons. The cerebellum and cerebrum are separated by cerebellar tentorium and transverse fissure. Cortex is the outer surface of the cerebellum and it is parallelly ridges are called the folia. Apart from this, the cerebellum has the cerebellar Apart from this, the cerebellum has the cerebellar peduncles, cerebellar nuclei, anterior and posterior lobes. The cerebellum consists of two hemispheres, the outer gray cortex and the inner white medulla. It is mainly responsible for coordinating and maintaining the body balance during walking, running, riding, swimming, and precision control of the voluntary movements. The main functions of the cerebellum includes it sends equilibrium, transfers information, coordinates eye movements, it enables precision control of the voluntary body movements, predicts the future position of the body during particular movement. Both anterior and posterior lobes are connected with the skeletal movements. The cerebellum is also an essential for making fine adjustments to motor actions. Mainly, it coordinates and maintains body balance and posture during walking, running, riding, etc. Children will discuss exactly what cerebellum do. Cerebellum, how it works on motor control. The cerebellum controls muscle tone, balance and equilibrium. It also helps with motor learning and comes under cognitive functions. The cerebellum cognitive functions. The cerebellum may also play a role in language processing and memory, pain. And next come to the cerebellum work in pain work processing. The cerebellum receives pain input and transfers some of this information to the motor system. This helps the body avoid the pain. Children, now let us discuss what happens when cerebellum is damaged. Damage to cerebellum can make it difficult to stand, walk and keep balance. It can also make it harder to learn new words or skills. It may affect a person's sense of timing or their ability to judge distance. Children, now let us discuss about cerebellar disorders. Cerebellar disorders are conditions that affect the cerebellum, the part of the brain that controls balance, coordination, and motor skills. Symptoms including ataxia, which is a loss of coordination and balance, and tremors. Children, now let us discuss the types of cerebellar disorders. First is ataxia. Ataxia, a loss of coordination and balance that can affect the limbs, posture and gait. Second, hypotonia. The hypotonia is a reduction in muscle tone that can cause abnormal body positions. Third one is tremors. Rhythmic oscillations of a limb or the trunk can increase as you approach a target. Nystagmus. Nystagmus is a disorder involuntary rapid eye movement that can be horizontal, vertical, rotatory. Next one is scanning speech. Scanning speech, slow speech with a tendency to hesitate at the beginning of words or syllables. Next one is gait abnormalities. Abnormalities standing or walking such as swaying, staggering or reeling, etc. Children, now let us discuss the causes of these disorders. Causes of cerebellar disorders are infections such as bacterial, viral, parasitic or post-viral. Treatment for cerebellar disorders are medication, rehabilitations, surgical excision for tumors, immunotherapy and gluten-free diet. Children, now let us discuss about medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata, also known as medulla, is the lower part of the brainstem. The brain majorly can be classified into forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Already we discussed that this is the lower part of the brain, hindbrain. Further can be distinguished into cerebellum. Medulla oblongata and pons varolii. The word medulla oblongata has origin from the Latin word vers medis, means corresponds to middle, and oblongata corresponds to long. Hence the medulla is a long stem like structure, piriform, conic resembling. Medulla is found in the lowest region of the brain, chiefly regulating the atomic functions such as breathing, heartbeat, and digestion. It is critically important as it connects the spinal cord, bones, and the cerebral cortex. Additionally, it assists to maintain body posture and governs our reflexes. It view of importance in controlling head and facial musculature. The medulla oblongata is regulated as the spinal cord of the head. Children, now let us discuss the parts of medulla oblongata. The medulla is found between the spinal cord and pons. Its vertical and dorsal surfaces of the medulla are distinguished by distinct fissures and turbinates constituted by different nuclei and related tracts. The medulla is divided into two major parts: ventral medulla, the front portion, and dorsal medulla, rear portion, anterior portion, and it is also known as the tegmentum. Children, now let us discuss what is median fissures. Along the posterior and anterior proportions of the medulla, hollow grooves are found. These are the median fissures. Pyramids. The upper part of the medulla ventrally is deeply grooved into the midline along with a bold complexity on either side. These are pyramids. It is the result of containing corticospinal fibers. Some of these fibers overlap each other, hence obliterating the anterior median fissure, which is known as the dissection of the pyramids. The external accurate fibers originate from the anterior middle fissures above the dissection of the pyramids. Running lateral across the surface of the pons, they are two round masses of white matter situated on the facing sides of the anterior median fissure. Olivary bodies. In the upper part of the medulla, the area between the posterior-lateral and anterior-lateral sulcus is distinguished by a swelling, a pair of oval structures known as olivary bodies or olivos. It contains nerve fibers linking between cerebellum and pons with the medulla. The swelling is as a result of a large mass of grey matter, that inferior olivary nucleus. Fasciculus gracilis. The rear end of medulla between the posterior-lateral sulcus and posterior-median compressors tracts entering from the posterior funiculus of the spinal cord. These structures are fasciculus gracilis, situated intermediate to the midline and lateral to the fasciculus unguentatus. These structures typically are the continuation of the bundle of nerve fibers tracts extending from the spinal cord to the medulla. The terminal end of the fasciculi possess a round elevations referred to as the gracile and cuneate tuberculus. These are the result of nucleus unguentatus and nucleus gracilis. Overlying the tubercles, a triangular fossa occupies the posterior axis of the medulla, forming the floor of the fourth ventricle. This fossa on the either side is enclosed by the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Right laterally immediate of this fasciculus unguentatus is the tuberculum cinereum, which is at another longitudinal elevation caused as the result of spinal nucleus to the trigeminal nerve. Children, now let us discuss the structure of medulla oblongata. The medulla is a neuronal mass that's parts of the brainstem. It is located below the cerebellum and anterior to it. The medulla blends with the spinal cord near the foramen magnum. The medulla oblongata develops from the myelencephalon, and it is the most caudal brainstem structure situated in the posterior most part of the brainstem, merging within the spinal cord. Dimension. The medulla is 3 cm long and 2 cm wide with a thickness of 1.25 centimeters. It is home to all descending and ascending tracts carrying signals between the spinal cord and the brainstem. Its broad portion unite the overlying pons, hence the narrow sections continues with the spinal cord. The intersections between the spinal cord and the medulla occurs within the upper border of the first cervical vertebrae, which is also called atlas. In addition to this, other sections of the hindbrain, the medulla space out in the infratentorial space. Children, now let us discuss the functions of medulla oblongata. The medulla is critical in performing some important body functions pertaining to the regulation of mental, motor and sensory process. This is responsible to regulate the automatic functions of the body while it connects the higher levels of the brain to that of the spinal cord. Children, let us see what does the medulla oblongata do. Your medulla oblongata, often just called the medulla, is a key part of your nerve system. It's key not only because of its location but also because of its controls. Some of its jobs include managing heart, circulation, and breathing. Your medulla is where your cardiovascular and respiratory systems link together into a united system that controls your heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, and more. Manages other automatic process also. These are the things that your body often does, you having to think about them. Some examples including coughing, sneezing, swallowing, vomiting, and maintaining your balance. Then nerve connections to the medulla oblongata. The vast majority of major nerves converge at your spine, carrying signals to and from your brain. That means those signals must pass through your medulla. 4 of your 12 cranial nerves, which connects the area of your throats and tongue directly to your brain, passes through your medulla. Crossover point. Your medulla is the location of a region called the pyramids, where most of the movement related nerves in your body crisscross. This crossover is why one side of your brain almost always controls parts on the opposite side of your body. Children, now let us discuss the medulla and the cranial nerves. Your cranial nerves, which comes in a pair and use Roman numerals to set them, that pass through the medulla, include the following. Cranial nerve CN 9. Your ninth cranial nerve handles many of the functions of your mouth, this including activating the glands that make saliva, split, and your ability to taste and feeling things inside of your mouth. It is also controls your gag reflex, which keeps you from accidentally cocking on objects. Cranial nerve 10. Your 10th cranial nerve, known as vagus nerve, is one of the most important nerve in your body. It connects to all the major organs from your neck to the top part of your colon, transmitting signals for your automatic nerve system. These are signals you don't think about, and they may manage your heart rate, interstitial movements, and more. These nerves also carry signals from your muscles of your larynx, voice box, and the muscles you use to swallow. Cranial nerve 11th. Your 11th cranial nerve controls muscles on your neck and upper back. These muscles help you turn your head or shrug your shoulders. Cranial nerves 12. Your 12th cranial nerves control the muscles that you use to stick out of your tongue, that makes this nerve vital for your ability to speak and swallow. Thank you.